Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarang Choi. I'm a PGY1 here in Brooklyn, United States. We have a special guest today who's a fellow IMG who's willing to share his inspirational story with us. So, hi Dosbai.
Hi guys, hi Sarang. Thanks so much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, we are very happy to have you here too, and we're excited to hear your story. So, Dosbai, where are you from?
I'm from Kyrgyzstan, which is a small country located in Central Asia. So in there we speak Kyrgyz, that is our first primary language. And
Mm,
our secondary language is Russian. And when it comes to English, only about 10 to 12 or 15% of people speak English.
wow. So, what were you doing before going to medical school, and what prompted you to go to med school and go for USMLEs?
Um, yeah, so before the medical school, the education system in our country is a bit different. So
Mm-hmm.
when you are 7 or 6 years old, you go to the school. We call this um, middle school. And in the middle school, you study for 11 years, straight 11 years, and after you apply for university.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was studying in the middle school, I used to attend wrestling and I used to compete at international level. I won some,
Wow.
yeah, international competitions. And at that time, I was thinking maybe I should pursue my career in wrestling to be champion of the world and then champion of the Olympic Games. And
Wow.
then later, when I was graduating 11th year, we had to
Uh-huh.
choose the specialty. And then I uh, compared all the options and eventually I choose medicine.
Mm.
And so when I was studying in the middle school, I studied in Kyrgyz, which is our primary language.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to the medicine in the university, I studied in Russian. So the transition was a bit challenging from
Mm-hmm.
Kyrgyz to Russian.
Mm.
And while I was studying in the medical school, first year in the medical school, I spent most of my time to learn Russian. Like
Mm-hmm.
I used to speak Russian, but there are a lot of terms that we don't know or like we don't usually use that we use only only in medicine.
Yeah.
That took a while to learn those kind of words and things when I was the first year.
Wow.
And then after I complete the first year,
Mm-hmm.
we do practice at the end of the year, and then after we have about a month off. We uh, like enjoy our life and then go to the second year. So before in this gap, before I went to the second year, I was in my home and was thinking like how the medicine looks like outside of our country. And I
Mm-hmm.
was exploring medicine in Europe, in Turkey, and in the US. And then I went to the school back as a second year. I saw a couple of my friends, they were carrying like very big, large book.
Mm-hmm.
When I opened it, it was like really, really easy to understand. And that was Kaplan book. And I asked them like,
Oh.
what kind of book is this? And they said, oh, it's Kaplan. Like we are preparing for USMLE, which is like if you pass all the steps, you will be a doctor in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, it was kinda unrealistic for me because I didn't even know English. Like I knew a
Mm-hmm.
couple of words like yes, no, like stickers, like easy words.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't speak at all in English. And at that
Wow.
time, I decided, okay, I'm gonna prepare for USMLE and I'm gonna be a doctor in the USA and to see the medicine, how medicine is in the USA, how is it like in the practice in there compared to our
Mm-hmm.
country. And I was very curious. Then I started for USMLE. Yeah.
Wow. So you basically had to learn Russian, through medical school,
Yeah.
and just learning medicine itself is very challenging, but you had
Mhm.
to learn a language and then do that, and then you decided to go for USMLE, which is now you have to learn English, all
Yep.
a totally different language, which is like
hmm
the fact that you made the decision is like very amazing, and
hmm
that you actually got through everything.
Yeah, like at that time it was kind of sometimes it was very kind of pretty much impossible. But
Mm-hmm.
now when I look back, when I was trying to learn Russian, trying to learn English, like it gives me like it makes me happy like instantly, you know. Wow, it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of impossible at that time, but now here
Yeah,
like I'm in
but
residency.
yeah, can you imagine? Can you believe it? It's
Hmm.
like a lot of things happened, but yeah, looking back, you came a long way and look at you, your English is great. And
Oh, thank you.
living in the US. And so how did you actually prepare for the exams? Like those are really
Mhm.
hard and you had to learn English in order to prepare for those exams. So
Yeah. Um, so when I was preparing for USMLE, at the beginning, it was like really, really tough because I didn't know English. And the first video that I watched was how to read properly in English. And I watched that like about an hour video, like a couple of like small short videos.
hmm.
I watched those videos and I learned how to read properly. And then I started with Kaplan biochemistry and then physiology, and where I watched Dr. Fisher. Like about 7 or 6 or 7 years ago, I was watching Dr. Fisher's videos, and I didn't understand like what he was saying, like
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
didn't understand. And then I uh, opened the book and translated every single word. For example, like book or like increases, decreases, these kind of things. And used to, I had a like one notebook. I
Uh-huh.
used to write a lot of words in there and
Hmm.
memorize 40 words a day.
Wow.
And uh, and then memorizing 40 words a day. And also on top of that, I used to watch a couple of videos on YouTube um, on like grammar, how to improve your reading, like grammar, like listening, these kind of things.
Hmm.
And uh, when I was studying the Kaplan books, I started with them. I used to read the Kaplan book first, memorize every single word, and then I watched video. When I
Hmm.
watched the videos after that, I understood a couple of things from them.
Mm.
And thus I completed the whole Kaplan with in this mode, so like
Wow.
translate, read, translate, pretty much all Kaplan works.
So you
And one thing
translated
I remember,
from, uh-huh.
mhm,
You translated from English to Russian or English to Kyrgyzstan?
no, English to Russian.
Oh, okay.
And
Wow.
sometimes English, Russian, Kyrgyz.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, one thing I remember when I was reading and there was a word by like by. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know the meaning of this in Russian or Kyrgyz, and I put it in a Google Translate, and it gave me like about 10 meaning, and I
Yeah.
got confused more.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I had a friend who was sitting next to me, and like I asked him like, "What is the meaning of this?" And then he explained, "Oh, it means this, this, this."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was the funny moment when I was
Wow.
translating the buy word buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I once I improved my English, I watched a lot of videos, Kaplan videos, and Dr. Nadeep videos, and I read a lot of like very thick books. And eventually, I watched like mostly recommended videos. I
Mm-hmm.
took like tests, self-assessments,
Mm-hmm.
and your world, USMLE RX, and eventually I took my step one in Berlin in Germany. So
Wow.
overall, it took me about 3 years to prepare for step one exam, like
Mm.
with zero English.
Wow. That's still impressive because you had to learn a whole language. Just learning medicine itself is already a challenge. And so that's crazy journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say the biggest challenge for you was the language part?
Uh, yeah, I would say the most difficult thing for me was, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the language part. At the beginning, it was really tough to understand. Like I remember I spent about 2 or 3 hours for only one page of Kaplan book, like translating
Mm.
everything. Like after you translate, sometimes you don't get the meaning like when you translate just from English to Russian.
Wow. And you
Yeah.
never thought in the middle of that journey saying like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much. I'm just gonna stay. Like you just
Uh,
went on and on until because you were sure
no.
about coming to the US.
Yeah, at that time, I never had those kind of thoughts. I
Mm-hmm.
think the reason might be because of being in a correct environment, because I had friends who
Mm-hmm.
were in the same level, who had the same level of English, and
Okay.
some of them had better, and we used to compete with each other, like, hey, how many pages you read, and how many you read,
Oh,
yeah, like
nice.
this.
You were like pushing each other.
Yeah, like everyone was so motivated. Everyone was like trying their best. Whenever they had free time,
Mm-hmm.
they used to study. Whenever I had free time, I used to study, memorize words. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. And then you matched and you
hmm
became a resident. And so how has residency been since you became a resident and since you came to the US?
hmm Uh, yeah. So, before I came to US, I I completed my medical school in Kyrgyzstan, in my back then in my home country. And after that, I completed family medicine, which was 2 year in our country. And after completing that, I used to work as a instructor or teacher. I used to teach pharmacology to international students in my home country.
Mm-hmm.
And but because of the pandemics, I didn't have chance to come to the US and do US clinical experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because of that reason, like I didn't have any like expectation like how medicine looks like in the USA, like ICU floor or like clinic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have much like expectation or like didn't know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
And during the interview, when I was doing interview, I um, was sitting behind the camera like this, and Dr. Fisher, like everyone in the program, they said, "Hey, we're gonna send you invitation, like welcome to Brookdale and welcome to New York." Everyone was clapping, "Ooh," like this, and I was like, "Oh wow, am I really going to New York? Like
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in the US, and I'm going to New York, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work with Dr. Fisher, whose
Yeah,
video I used to watch all the time."
yeah,
Kind of, I don't know, like it was, am I dreaming or it's real? For
yeah.
for about like couple of minutes, I had this, like it was very happy moment, and
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and after that I came here. When I came here, I started with ICU, like straight came to the residency, and the residency I'm starting with ICU. Uh,
Wow.
the experience that I had before was um kind of like outpatient thing, like family medicine. And it was really challenging and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that I choose this program because of the environment with residents,
Mm-hmm.
so friendly, so supportive. Whenever you ask questions, they will help you all the time. They are
Mm-hmm.
like even attendings. They say, for example, like a couple of attendings, they say like, call me at any time, even if
Mm-hmm.
3 a.m., 2 a.m. If you have any questions, if you don't know what to do, then call
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm available. And
Yeah.
which makes this program like which makes me to like this program more because of that relationship and because of that support that we
Mm-hmm.
have here.
Yeah, I've definitely I can relate to that. I feel like I had such great seniors and co-residents, co-interns. Dosbai was one of my senior on my night shift, and he was very helpful, gave me a lot of advice regarding how to be more efficient and work better on the floors as well. So it's been great. And we do have a great support system and a
Mhm.
very diverse group of people. So it's been a blessing. What
And
are
also,
your
Sarang,
plans?
we are
Uh-huh.
working in 2 weeks again. So I'm in 2 weeks we are starting ICU, intensive care unit rotation.
Yes.
So in there will be one third year and second year, which is gonna be me, and first year Sarang. So we're gonna work together again.
Yeah, we're gonna be working on the ICU again. Wow.
hmm
I'm glad that I was not thrown into fire right away when I started intern year. Like
Yeah.
you were thrown into fire as soon as you started intern year, which can be very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least we had good support system. So yeah. So what are your plans now moving forward? Like, I mean, you are in your second year. What do you
hmm
plan to do after residency and upcoming future?
Uh, yeah. So before I started my residency. I was kind of between two specialties. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, should I choose cardiology or should I choose hematology and oncology? And then when I came here, I did a bit more research
Mm-hmm.
and I realized that hematology and oncology field is more like fits for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of really enjoy like studying and seeing patients with these in this environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so next thing would be to prepare for hemonc, and the match cycle starts in a couple of months.
Wow.
And yeah, and to apply for hematology oncology fellowship.
Wow, that's exciting. So how have you been preparing to be more a better
Mhm.
candidate?
So yeah, when I came here, I pretty much didn't have anything, any publications or like pretty much nothing. And thanks to my seniors, mentors, they helped me a lot. They said, okay, they gave me case reports and they gave me some abstracts and they gave me they they've been guiding me to how to work, how to prepare for the fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And so far I have a good number of publications. I think it should be fine, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. And publication wise, I'm working on that, and also I'm doing my elective outside electives. And
Awesome.
whenever I have I'm in when I'm doing consult,
Mm-hmm.
I told the my program that I'm gonna apply for hematology oncology, and they
Mm.
put me only on whenever I'm on consult, they put me on hemonc
Hematology
service, like
consulting.
I do
Oh.
hemonc consults. Yeah, which
Okay.
is
Cool.
really
Yeah.
helpful to
Mm-hmm.
learn more and to make more like to make more connections and like to get more knowledge in this environment in this field.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So now, what advice do you have to the people
Mhm.
who are USMLE aspirants and who are preparing for the exams as well as going for the match? What kind of advice would you want to give them?
This journey is very long and never expect a result overnight. So you have to like continue studying, and they expect the result in about 3 or 5 months. In that time frame, you may see some result, and you may see your friends out in the other field. They're making a lot of like progress, but in this journey, you will take steps, and eventually you will going experience and then match. But yeah, this is the journey. You should be more patient, I would say. And while preparing for the USMLE, so mainly focus on quality of your knowledge rather
Mm-hmm.
than quantity. For
Yes.
example, you are solving questions, 40 questions. If you couldn't understand like first question, don't jump to this next one. Like if you even if you jump, try to understand like what is telling you and try to understand things like rather than okay, I have to finish 40 questions and then finish and then rest. That's
Uh-huh.
not the proper way of preparation.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing, I highly suggest you to find a great environment, find great like proper friends
Mm-hmm.
who are in the same boat as you, who are preparing for the USMLE and
Mm-hmm.
who are like maybe competing with each other and trying to study more, trying to get scores and trying to be as a like to get things done. Like
Mm-hmm.
try to be in that environment. And other thing I would highly suggest is having a mentor, like anyone, whoever is above you. Like it could be someone who took step two or anyone in the residency.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, ask questions, ask guidance, and if you study the proper materials, you will be prepared faster and you'll get higher score. So I highly suggest having mentors. And other thing, try to do a US clinic experience or observership. And whenever you do this, find programs that has residency programs. I mean that whenever you're doing observership, find the programs that or hospitals that has um, residency program in there. If, for example, if you're applying to surgery, find surgery, internal medicine, family medicine, or OBGYN. Yeah, be mindful in this case. And my next advice for the match applicants. So here, pretty much the same. I would highly suggest having a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And always like ask questions, get proper guidance, and and also when you are like when you start preparing everything, letter of recommendation. I mean, letter of recommendation will be written by someone, but
Mm-hmm.
personal statement and your CV.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you don't have any like grammatical errors or it's like any errors in there. Like double check, triple check, check yourself, and give your friends to double check
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because you might be very strong applicant and you should keep in your mind that there are like 3,000 or 7,000 applicants applying for the same position. And if they see this kind of like mistake,
Mm-hmm.
which is like very, very important documentation in your process, some of them like may see, okay, like this person is not taking everything seriously, and then
Yeah.
they may just replace you with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And interview preparation. So start preparing for your interviews early, and you may think, okay, it's interview, like I go there and tell me about myself.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to the interview, you have to tell about yourself. Like you have to, you should be able to give like full, complete information about yourself and the proper information. Like when you came here, uh, they want to know about you and your in the career wise, like in the medicine. They don't want to know like what you did in the childhood or like those kind of things. You have to prioritize the answers and start sending letter of interest if you're really interested in one program. Like send letter of interest and let them know that you are interested in that program. Also, while you're preparing, don't lose your hope. Like sometimes uh, you you applied for the match season, but you didn't get the invitation till December, but you may get in January. Uh, despite of like despite having not having the invitation,
Mm-hmm.
start preparing for the interview and like early. And you may get you don't know like what time you will get the invitation and when your interview will be scheduled,
Yes.
and you should be prepared for the interview. And even if you have one interview, if you prepared well, if you can show yourself, your chances of like getting matched is very high. And also when you when for your program, um don't just go there for your program, explore your program, like go to their website and know about the environment, about the faculty, about the research, about the structure of the program, the fellowship options. Yeah. And also like and eventually the last thing, when it comes to the ranking, like you have a lot of invitation, and when it comes to ranking your programs, I highly advise you to rank the one that you liked most, like the one that you like most, and then like goes like step by step. I mean, if you like the first program, put it on the first, and because you like it, not because someone recommended or not because you feel like you more have more chance getting matched into other program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much that's my advice for the step takers and for the match applicants.
Yeah, so Dosbai just gave us really solid, good advices for each and every step. So it's very important. I also want to emphasize, don't lose hope, as he said, because this is a long and strenuous journey. You may be impatient, but you have to be very patient through the process and be grateful where you are and what you've come. So how far you've come and persisting and persevering is very important. And yeah, take to heart the advices he just gave because they all very important advices throughout the whole process. So yeah, thank you so much, Dosbai, for sharing your inspirational story with us. It's crazy amazing how you've made it through while learning a totally new language, and you've been amazing senior and resident, and I have so much respect for the journey you've got have so far, and excited for what is to come. So thank you so much, and I hope you all the
You're
best.
welcome, and thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
All
And I
right.
hope this advice would be helpful to like at least couple of step takers or whoever are in the match cycle.
Yes, I'm sure it will.
Mhm.
All right. Have a good
Thank you.
one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.